What's up, guys? Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're doing great. This is your boy Kobe Shots, and today I have a behind the scenes of a music video that I shot in Tema, Ghana for you. I'm going to take you through all my techniques, the ideas that I put together, as well as how I direct music videos generally. So yeah, without much ado, let us get started. Alright, so I had to move from Kumasi, where I actually reside, to get to Tema. And in the morning, we had to, organize ourselves, and we got it started. So that's where you see me sitting in the vehicle. We're actually gonna get started the first scene. And I normally have headphones around my neck, so I could listen to the music all the way till we begin. So yeah, the very first scene, we had the car in which I was and the car that the artist was moving parallel together. So, and after we were done, we had to get to the second set where we parked the cars side by side, and yeah, I had to coordinate everything before we could start. And under normal circumstances, I would like to take off licensing plates from vehicles so that I wouldn't have to blur them out, something I really hate to do and I really hate seeing in music videos. So as much as I can, I'll take it out. And yeah, so you see me with the first scene, the first performance scene actually, the artist, and with my gimbal, I did some few camera movements. And this was actually the very first test, so that the artist will actually see how the scene looks like, and also we can understand ourselves together. So you see me demonstrating and showing him exactly what he did, and this is actually a way to help the artist understand how the framing looks like and how the tempo of the camera movement with the music goes, and also to rate himself in his head or in their head how exactly you're doing. And I also try to demonstrate as much as I can the way that I actually visualize their camera movement, how it's supposed to be in my head. I demonstrate that for them to see. So as the artist was re-energizing himself, I had to take some B-rolls that I was going to use as inserts on top of the video. So I took some minute, detailed features of the vehicles for the inserts, and you see the models also getting ready. They're actually excited for the video because everything was just going according to plan. And one thing that you have to also understand is you have to work with models who are normally excited and who actually know what they're about. So I continued to demonstrate to the artist what I wanted him to do when he was refreshed. So just before I took my gimbal, I had to do some few things. So you see me getting myself into character and getting him to know what I wanted him to do. So the models were prepared for their very first scene, and I shot them against one vehicle. Because it was black, it really worked with the environment, the greenery, and the colorful costumes that they wore. And so I took some turns with them, and I also had the artist also perform with one of the girls who could really dance, and she did marvelously well, and so it really came all together well. Okay, so we got away from the second location to the third, and this is actually indoor. We didn't really plan to use the space, but miraculously we got hold of the space, and it really worked with the plans that we immediately put together instantly. Okay, so you see me demonstrating what the poses are going to be like. Because the model had a green hair, I had to use the colors in there. Initially, I needed to use this plant that you see next to the door, but it really didn't look very good in camera, and so I had to set it away or put it away. And yeah, I got the set cleaned up for the performance shots of the model dancing, and these were all going to be part of the insert, and the tempo of the music was going to have her dancing accordingly. Alright, so I continued to take more inserts, take more detailed close-up shots, and I kept the camera moving at all times. And another circumstance is, the music will move your drive, and so I allow myself to also go with the flow. And with the flow of this particular song, I had to keep the camera constantly moving. And this girl can really dance, and so it really motivated the camera movement as well. Okay, so to the fourth, the fourth set, still in the same area. This space is actually an office space and has cubicles, and the cubicles are also colorful, so it really worked with what we set off to start the video shoot like. Okay, so this model, having a dark skin, came along with a dark costume, and it really worked well with her skin tone, and we got a little bit of oil also on her skin so that she could glow under the light. Sometimes, or most times, you need to have an assistant on set because the light on the stand might not be enough at all times, and so if you want some sophisticated and constant moving lights, you need to have an assistant to be directed to move the lights around. So the model's also getting ready for the next scene. This model particularly in green hair. So when she was done changing her costume, we used some props money scattered all across the sofa in this particular office, in that same space. So one thing I realized was she wasn't really comfortable performing on the sofa because it was very slippery, and because we had mist also in the atmosphere, the mist settling on the surface of the sofa made it even more slippery. So she was very, very uncomfortable, but we tried to do things nonetheless, tried to take some shots all the same, at least to get some insight to introduce this particular scene. So I think I predominantly used my gimbal throughout the shoot so I could get some smooth camera movement. And the props money, we were unable to print or wait to print the other side of the bills, and so we couldn't have flexibility with the usage of the bills, and so you can see the other side of the bills exposed blank, and that didn't really sit well with me, so I had to position them, and upon failing I had to remove them out of the set, especially from her body, so that she could comfortably dance without having the fear of exposing any blank notes. So I kept the other notes on the sofa so I could also work together with the set, and we kept on going. Alright, so I positioned another light to blast against the wall to give some kind of separation from the background and the artist, and we shot some performance shots also with him seated in a seat, an office seat, and money or the fake bills scattered all across. So you see me again drooling in sweat, demonstrating you have to do whatever it takes to get the shots right. And so if it has to do with getting into the set and demonstrating very well how you want it for the artist to follow, you just do that. So you see mist also introduced again on set to give that party vibe, and I kept on having my assistant holding onto the light as I wanted, and I kept it in the form of an umbrella so that the light will fall from above, and to give some aesthetics also from the reflections that the glasses gave. And I kept a red cap also on set to form part of the whole set. So the model also danced with one of the key people on the management of the artist, so we actually shot another scene also introducing all three girls on the set to give this party vibe, party atmosphere. Kept the red cap also indicating alcohol, implying alcohol, because during parties that's what we normally drink. And the fake bills, because we didn't have flexibility, we had to have the artist carefully holding out the money facing us with where the prints were. Okay, so again I had the model dancing to the music on top of the table and having the props money also scattered all across to give that implication of a strip club or a club, just to say. And she really danced well and performed very well, and the colors also stood out from the background. Yes, so we went on, still on the same floor of the building. We noticed that when we shine light against the glass, it actually created some nice patterns. And so I had one of the models dance for some more B-rolls for the video. And these actually help in covering up a lot of mistakes that probably the performance scenes of the artist may collect. And it helps in, the whole aesthetics of the entire video. Alright, so in the same set, I had the artist come to perform right in front of the glass, kept on having an assistant holding on to the light, and yes, we kept on shooting even more. Okay, still again the same set. This time I made the light swing so that it will keep the motion going with the camera moving. You see how fast I move back and forth, having the model also dance. And still in the same set, somewhere in another area, I had the third model also move across in front of these blinds. Okay, and I chose one cubicle, and I have these models dance right in front of it. And because of the colors, I maintained the green-haired model, and she could actually outdance the dark-skinned girl, and so I didn't take so much of that, and I didn't really use so much of that particular performance shot, but it actually formed part of the entire video. Okay, so the artist wearing colorful costume really went with the cubicle colors as well as the model's hair, and so the performance scene was set, and we got started. Before, the artist wasn't very comfortable, probably because the guys were so many around, but the vibe of the model actually pushed him, and yes, he went with the flow. So I kept on shouting, making sure that they could hear my voice over the sound of the music that we were playing for the artist to perform to. And the lady or the model really danced very well, and so I had to take some shots of just her because she actually outdanced the other model. She actually had to have a solo scene where she could actually dance to the swinging of the light again. And lastly, the artist brought this idea that how about we add his voice so that we could create some party vibe. And so, being very mindful about my framing, I created some mist in the background and skewed them within the frame and made sure that the guys were actually dancing their hearts out. They were actually very happy, and because they were energetic and really enjoying the whole thing, it really came together very well. And so the swinging of the lights created this party vibe, and this club seemed like sea. And yeah, after everything, we were actually very impressed when I showed them the rashes, and that was actually the end of the video shoot. Thank you very much for watching this video from start to finish, and I'm sure that you've understood or you've seen how my workflow goes like. And I would like you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and watch other videos that I have over here on my YouTube channel, especially if you're new, and turn on the post notification button if you haven't, so that you'll be notified of all future videos I'll be posting here on my YouTube channel. Until the next video, I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful day. See ya. We no go stop till we win. We no go stop till we win. Lights, cameras, and action. Getting money, no be fashion. I'll do all this with a passion. All these questions I'll be